Hi everyone, my name is Tsepo Hlongwane from Kutetea Inclusive Education and Dyslexia Support Group. Kutetea is a non-profit organization focusing specifically on creating awareness about specific learning disabilities. Specific learning disabilities affect how a learner think, listen, and decode language. Decoding language would mean that you need to understand the letters, the alphabets, and how they relate to language. So our particular focus is on dyslexia, which also has other classifications under dyslexia. You find dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. And our existence is to bring that awareness about these specific learning disabilities, how they affect learners at school, how they affect their learners' performance, where we end up saying that this learner is unwilling to learn, this learner doesn't want to participate in class, they're not raising their hand, they're not understanding what the teacher is teaching. So we want to bring education about that to our community, particularly the disadvantaged community, where parents may not understand what is actually wrong with the child. Why is this child not able to perform like other kids in school? Why is this child not able to get the correct grades? So as Kutetea, we want to bring that awareness, particularly on what dyslexia is, what is ADD, what is ADHD, how does it affect your child at school. Two, once we've brought that knowledge and we have educated the parents, we've educated the learners themselves, the teachers, everyone around the learner who's having a barrier to learning, then we want to be able to raise funds to ensure that those learners get access to a specialist that can actually confirm what type of a learning disability is the learner having. Why is this learner unable to learn? Why is this learner unable to understand their languages, to understand mathematics? Because the dyslexia that affects how you interpret numbers and the order of numbers is called dyscalculia. How does this learner actually um struggle with maths? And we want to bring that awareness, but also the diagnosis now to a professional that can give you a diagnosis that you can take to the district, to the school, in order for the learner to get concessions, to get support. And that support at the moment is provided during exams, where you can get assistive technology, you can write having a software that helps you to understand what is in front of you, text to speech, speech to text type of technology. But for some learners, it may be severe that they might need a scribe next to them, writing with them, or a reader, someone who reads to them during this exam. And ours is, let's assist the learners from disadvantaged communities to get access to those specialists so that they can get those particular support. But what we find is that in our communities, our disadvantaged communities, this knowledge is not there. Parents don't understand what's happening, and therefore the learners are not included in the education. They're not getting the right support that they are meant to get. So as Kutetea, we want to support those particular learners by one, awareness, also access to a formal diagnosis by a registered specialist, and then to also help with removing those barriers by providing the learners with assistive technology that is now going to assist them as they learn, make sense of these letters, show you that, oh, when you're reading, this is a dog, and the assistive technology will show you a picture of a dog. You're reading about a museum, it shows you what the museum is and all of that, to aid the learner in their learning. So dyslexia is not a measure of saying that if you're dyslexic, you're not intelligent. Actually, a lot of people who are dyslexic, they've gone to do great things. You can think of your Richard Branson, you can think of your Steve Jobs, you can think of Lewis Hamilton, you can, there's a lot that we can name, Whoopi Goldberg. A lot of dyslexic people go on to do great things, and what really helps is the support, is the early intervention. So as Kutadea, we want to really advocate for that learners get diagnosis and they get the support and they are supported throughout their schooling system. So that is the part of inclusive education in our name, Kutadea Inclusive Education and Dyslexia Support Group. So the support is really the coaching, the counseling, the access to assistive technology.